I don't know. One each time.
No. One person will come together after later, like after 30 minutes.
I don't know if I from Spanish to English. I'll be here, and when he starts, I will translate. Or I don't know if you want to translate, I can try to translate. You don't know Spanish. Sorry. Oh yeah, I will.
Okay, perfect. During the session. Now we can. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So we are just starting our session on bridging the biodiversity, One Health, and indigenous wisdom for climate action. So thanks so much for our speakers who has been here. I would like to. Can you hear me? Okay. Thanks so much, Julian, to be here. And thanks so much, Kuri, for being here, for supporting us from supporting us. Hello, supporting us. Can you? Okay, perfect. So thanks so much for Kuri for being here, so that we can have the insights from the Amazon rainforest of Ecuador and all. Thanks so much, Julian, for being here from Brazil. She's working on the Living Trees Institute. So thanks so much, and I would like to give the floor for each of the guests to like share some little bit about yourself, so that people like here can like be able to get an idea of what's happening. So the floor is yours, Julian.
Now I can hear. Thank you. So it's very nice to be here with Gokul and Roki. How can I say? Kuriki. Did I say it right now? Kuriki. So I'm very happy to be here talking about biodiversity and impacts on health and conservation of the knowledge of ancestors. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. I'm president of the NGO Living Trees Institute. And also I participate at the National Council of Environment and representing the Coalition for Children and Climate. And I work on the perspective of nature and health with networks in Brazil and international networks, climate and health initiatives in Brazil, connecting organizations from Brazil, but also from all over the world. I'm studying also my PhD on applied ecology, searching for the impacts of the quality of the environment around pediatric hospitals of chronic diseases. So this is very interesting what we are going to talk here.
Wow. Thank you so much for the introduction. It was really insightful to know that, like, that's like really, I didn't know that you work for pediatric people, like pediatric patients and everything. So that is something really interesting for us to like go forward, because in our region also, like we could find like people in the village areas like prefer more towards the indigenous and traditional medicinal ways for treating their children. So something like really important for going forward the future. So thanks so much, and I would like to give the floor to Mr. Curry to speak about how, like, introduce himself a little bit so that everyone can get a little bit of information about him. Yeah.
¿Debo hablar ahorita lo que debo hablar o no? Presentación.
Solo la presentación. ¿Quién eres y qué estás haciendo?
Me gustaría decir gracias a Gokul por la invitación. En realidad es muy importante ser invitado por una persona joven. Estoy muy contento y gracias. En realidad yo trabajo con los niños y también con los adolescentes, porque hoy en día la clave es en los jóvenes, la clave es en los niños. Entonces mi trabajo es fuerte, por lo que estoy tratando con muchos niños de diferentes tribus de la Amazonía del Ecuador. Mi nombre es Kurikingi, pues por el Ecuador.
Hi with everyone. My name is Kurikingi from the Ecuadorian rainforest, and I want to say thank you so much to Gokul for organizing this event. And it's really amazing to work with young people. And also, I'm working in the Ecuadorian Amazon rainforest with children and teenagers. They are the future and the present, so we have to work with them and work together. We have a lot to learn from them, and that's my work, learning from them and also sharing my experience in the Amazon forest.
So thank you so much for being here, and it is like really honor for you to be here, for listening to our call and being here, because it was like really so happy moment that when I texted you, replied to me that like you will be here, and yeah, I'm so happy that you got the support to be here as well for your children as well. So yeah, let's go forward for the session.
Gracias por estar aquí, es un honor que estés aquí, por responder los mensajes, y es un trabajo importante que estás haciendo con los niños, así que vamos a empezar la reunión y el diálogo.
So just going forward, I would like to showcase the app for which we are developing right now, so that both of you guys can also like see what's happening and then like suggest on how things is going to be working out, and also like we would like to have like more inputs on how like biodiversity is like should be taken, like also the indigenous knowledge, how should it should be recorded, and how should it be given to other people to be shared, like how can that be used well without getting like used by people like huge corporates or other business kinds of way, and also leaving indigenous people from their rights of having these medicinal plants. So I'd like everyone to see the screen. Next, please. Okay, this is.
Gracias por estar aquí, y ahora quiero compartir con ustedes la aplicación. Quiero que ustedes vean cómo funciona la aplicación y cómo se puede utilizar para la gente y las comunidades indígenas en Ecuador, y que no sea cooptada por corporaciones. Y ahora va a presentar con ustedes cómo funciona, así que pueden ver.
So this is the world's first ever social media for biodiversity. It's the world's first ever social media for biodiversity. We can go to the next page. So it's like it's like social media for biodiversity, where we collect information about how people are using plants and nature based on the map data, like how importantly the map perspective, where people will be inputting information on the map, how they have the biodiversity around them. Usually, most of the time, we, as an indigenous person or a student or a youth, will not have the information about what plant is it in front of us. So we wanted to go over that and find something new, which will be like more towards helping them like simplify that process of making the recording of the data easier, by giving them a more beautiful way of presenting the information in the map. So that's one way where we ask the users to put icons and other kinds of like tags and animations. I'll show animation in the next slide. So animations where people can learn about biodiversity. So
esa imagen anterior se puede observar la aplicación, cómo se proyecta la aplicación. Y siempre ha sido muy difícil para los jóvenes saber qué plantas están utilizando y cómo se están utilizando. Entonces la aplicación ayuda a mapear y los jóvenes también pueden compartir con diferentes animaciones, diferentes mecanismos a través del mapa y localizar dónde y cómo están funcionando y utilizando las plantas medicinales.
So the main way of doing that is like we ask the users to create bio profiles for the animals out there. We will be having the users to upload information by giving a username for their plants, like plants or animal, like a username, which means like anything that we can, like I call my pet like maybe like I call my pet like something like Kaiser or something like that, which is like in local language. But I don't know the species of the plant or like species of the dog I have with me. So I don't need to know that. I just create a profile. I start uploading information about the species using this unique. Need any other that local name or scientific name, and nothing at all. We just need to upload information based on the name. So once we create a profile, next please, bro. Once we create a profile, we will give them a Instagram kind of a screen where they can put information about a bio about that their plant, like they are doing. The bio can be anything, like whichever comes into their mind or whatever information they have, like an introduction that they already have been doing, because it's the digital age right now. Everyone will be having an Instagram, so this will be like the most easiest way for them to understand how it is linked to them. Like they can present their own species kind of way, and also after that they can start uploading information about the biodiversity. Like you can see here, like the
Ahora va a ser la siguiente parte. Se puede crear un perfil como en Instagram, pero se crea un perfil para la planta. Y tú le pones el nombre a la planta. No tiene que ser un nombre científico, porque no importa que sea el nombre científico. Puede ser el nombre local o el nombre que tú quieras. Y lo importante es la información que vas a tener sobre la planta. Así que creas el perfil, pones la foto y en la parte que está donde están las letras puedes poner información. Es como un Instagram para las plantas. He wants to say that he's also feeling your spirit, that he can understand you in some levels.
Thank you so much for the understanding and support that you are giving us. So I'll just continue back by telling more about the app so that we have this global launch done so perfectly. Thank you so much. And yeah, so going forward, we will be having, like, if the person comes to find the species name or the scientific name, they can add that name here, which will help them connect to the global database, which I'll show you next space. This will be like, this is an optional space where people can do, or maybe like no, like they don't need to fill that space. So there will be like post option, and also the followers thing, that if your plant information that you're giving is like valid and people wanted to learn more about your species that you have been posting about, they follow this profile. So your profile follow list will be here, and you can see which all people can access this. Like it will be like a really privatized account for the species itself. So you don't share the information with people that you don't like to share it with. So that is something that which we keep this information, like we get the consent from the person itself before sharing the information with others. So that is something like key I would like advice from you as well, to seeing if it's a good idea or a bad idea, how indigenous people will think.
Bueno, y en el perfil, como se puede observar, tú tienes la descripción y el nombre de la planta, y funciona que tú puedes compartir más información, por ejemplo, las fotos. Al mismo tiempo, tú puedes tener seguidores para que otras personas puedan aprender. Y lo más importante aquí es cómo que tú tienes la libertad de compartir o no con las personas, para que tú puedas cuidar la privacidad. La libertad está en la persona que publica, y también está abierto a tomar nuevos consejos si quieren recomendar cómo más se puede proteger la información.
So do you have something to say?
Si tienes alguna recomendación, también puedes dar.
It's good. Okay, perfect. So So, okay, if I've started uploading information about, okay, I have this species and I have been putting it in the map itself. So whoever wants to know the location of the species can find the information through this once they're approved of getting the information. So if I don't want to share the information, I can even cut this off so that this information of the plant will not be shared outside. The location of the plant will be kept secret, but still the information about how these people are being using that will be still available for the other communities. Like when the climate change is happening, I can share this information because of the climate change. There is species migration is happening from one region to another region. The species are going. So from one indigenous community, I can share this information to the other indigenous community because it's like the same local language will be used. They can be easy for them to understand. Like, okay, this is the species. This is the species that they are being using. Now these people can use it as well. Same thing.
Una de las funciones importantes es que en esa opción donde está, en esta opción de aquí, tú puedes ubicar la ubicación donde se encuentra esa planta en el mapa. Y tú puedes habilitar o deshabilitar para que la gente vea. Lo importante es compartir la ubicación y dónde está. Y tomar en cuenta que cuando tenemos el cambio climático hay migración de muchas plantas que se están desplazando y por eso es importante mapear y compartir. Pero también para proteger la información tú puedes bloquear y nadie puede ver dónde está ubicado, sino solo puede ver la información. Pero es la decisión del usuario compartir si quiere o no que se vea en el mapa.
You can also say, right, Julian, you can also say your feedbacks and everything. Sorry for this.
No, don't worry.
I'm just lost.
Si tienes alguna recomendación extra mientras esté presentando, si tienes algún punto o alguna pregunta o algo que puedan mejorar, tú puedes hacerlo.
I would like to understand why you give so many options on the privacy, because if it's helping us like that, basically think it's important, because for me, I would see this is as open source information to help people. So if you want to block information, I want to understand the perspective of blocking.
Perfect. So the main thing for doing that is like there can be people like organizations or something like which can come and take the information for free. We cannot block these people from getting into the app anyway. So it's like a public database. But still, if an indigenous community wanted to keep this, use the app, and still wanted to like keep this information within their community and the people they just know, then that is a handy tool.
Much now I understand that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And I would like to give it to perfect. Perfect. So I would like to go to the next slide. So once the person understands this is a species that they're having, like here we have hibiscus rosa. So I understand this is the scientific name of the hibiscus plant, which I have been seeing around with me. So I just add this information into the profile, hibiscus rosa, and voila, it just takes the person's profile into the list of all other profiles having the same, like is part of the same scientific name species across the globe. So the person will be connected to all the other biodiversity profiles having the same thing with all the local names. It's like hibiscus from Malaysia. This is from Fiji. And this is Indian, so it's not going to push it over. Okay, so they will have this taxonomical information about different hierarchy, IUCN status of the plant, so that they can know, okay, this is like really important to protect. We need to protect it. And then we have the species distribution map. Please. Next, please, bro. When we click on this, you get to know where are the species that are distributed from, like each person's profile from India, Malaysia, Fiji, and you can even click on this thing to connect to that person personally and talk to them. That will be a tool, like you can just connect to them. You can ask them like, okay, you're doing this. How is your flower, like how is your biodiversity doing, or how is your flower doing? So they can directly connect to that person and speak. And also that will be giving more value to the same plant which they have within their community, and also connecting to those across the ocean. So they can also like interact with them with the other, and also tell them how they are using it and how are the challenges that this species is being affected. So it's mostly like connecting tool for social media for biodiversity. So yeah, any questions or anything to ask?
Thank you. Bueno, primero la pregunta que ella realizó, preguntó que por qué hay mucha privacidad, porque ella quería entender que quizás desde su punto de vista es mejor que sea un recurso abierto para todas las personas, y la respuesta que se dio fue que sí se puede tener una base de datos abierta y que la gente puede acceder a cierta información, pero lo importante es dar la oportunidad a las comunidades que quieren compartir, lo puedan hacer, pero si no quieren compartir, ellos también tienen la opción de no compartir. Y también él creó, por ejemplo, creó un perfil de una especie en particular, y cuando tú creas un perfil de una especie, te puede aparecer otros perfiles que de la misma especie. Y por ejemplo, en ese mapa tú puedes ver que hay 3 perfiles de la misma especie que están ubicados en diferentes partes del mundo, y tú puedes mensajear y contactar y preguntar información sobre esa especie en otra parte del planeta.
I would like to say I'm super amazed with the potential and how this app will bring all together. I always dream in my life how people would connect from plants, from plant information. And I'm seeing this, and I want to go immediately when we finish here to some bank people and try to support this immediately, because it's not possible. We need to find funding to make this reality now. We need this. So I'm super happy to be here.
So thank you so much, Julian. So I just working on this project for 2 years. I've been trying. Our project was featured by Egyptian ministry at COP27. So I got a badge from Egyptian ministry. They put up our things, and over there at COP28, Ukraine ministry invited us for featuring our project at their pavilion. Also, other ministries also featured our project at their pavilion. Ukraine, Egypt, Nigeria, Chad, Uganda. And then COP29, we were invited by the Azerbaijan ministry, and we had a session on antimicrobial resistance. And also Chad and Sri Lankan ministry had a session for us as well on the same project. And COP30, we come here, and still we never had any funding for this project. It's like 0 funding for this project. We were trying to pitch all this, and I was also trying to develop it from my side as much as possible. It took me 2 years single-handedly developing all this thing, and I wanted to launch it today so everyone can use it. But unfortunately, I'm still with issue with the App Store. They need to verify thing from start to make everything works or properly. So they have some standards. So hopefully by the end of the COP, it will be out there for everyone to download and share. Hopefully. So thanks so much for the supportive word. So I'm looking for funding as well, because for keeping this on up running, the cloud storage is too much. It's like takes a lot of thing. And also whenever you use social media, like it needs to have like a cloud storage running 24 hours. So it needs energy as well. So yeah, thanks so much for the support. And let's go for the next slide.
Primero voy a empezar. Ella comentó que está asombrada y está muy emocionada porque estaba esperando que haya alguna aplicación de ese tipo. Así que quiere salir y quiere crearse una cuenta y que espera que funcione y que haya financiamiento para que pueda seguir avanzando. El compañero mencionó que sí, que fue invitado también en Egipto, en la COP de Egipto, y después también estuvo participando en la COP de Azerbaiyán con el apoyo de algunos países, pero que ha estado trabajando con fondo cero. Él ha estado trabajando solo casi por 2 años y ha llegado hasta este punto, que está a punto de lanzar la aplicación, y espera que la aplicación sea lanzada y publicada a finales de la COP, que tiene algunos pequeños problemas técnicos con la tienda App Store. Quizás resuelva eso y que se pueda publicar.
En realidad me gustaría decir de que hay 4 cosas que tenemos que entender. Como decimos, cómo la inteligencia humana tiene que reconocer la inteligencia natural, la inteligencia artificial y la inteligencia cósmica. En una de esas estoy muy contento de estar aquí porque estamos tratando con la inteligencia natural, como los seres humanos, hablando de este clima, del cambio climático. Necesitamos saber eso y estoy contento de estar justo hablando de la inteligencia natural.
It's really important to talk about, we are talking about artificial intelligence a lot, but here it's really amazing because we are like basically discussing about the intelligence of nature. And that's the reason why I'm here. So I'm really happy and I want to promote your initiative as well.
So much for supporting this initiative, because it's been like a lot of a lot of work which I have been putting forward. I'm right now doing my bachelor's. Between that, I've been trying to push forward that, trying to take it to COP, pushing for policy changes here. Ukraine ministry is the best thing which has happened to me, which has been providing me with badge. Without that, nothing will be happening for anything. That's something I would like to really showcase to the world itself, because like it's been like from COP28, they've been supporting me to push forward for this thing. Now people are getting to understand the indigenous knowledge from medicinal plants is really important to bridge climate change and also climate action through biodiversity, indigenous people's knowledge as well. So yeah, recently I got the chance to meet the director of UNFCCC Sicilia, and she was really interested in taking forward the project and also like supporting how this can be taken forward. Perfect. So we have our one of our speakers as well, who is joining in. His name is Domenico. So yeah, maybe I'll go forward with the session and like introduce him later. Okay, perfect. It's okay. Okay, so like going forward, like I just want to share. Hi, Domenico. So I'll just introduce you a little bit after. Like I will finish my presentation of the app. So okay, perfect. So next next. So other than that, we have an option for exploring, where people will be like, I'm over Brazil right now, so I want to know which are the biodiversities nearby me. So this is like an option for finding out nearby biodiversity. Whenever I change my location, I can know who posted about this biodiversity and the information, the particular like profile, so that I can try to reach out to that person, like ask for permission to view the profile, and if the person allows me, we can see the profiles and everything, and yeah, learn more. We will be like also featuring diseases and diseases, chemicals, and also some hashtags which will be helping in connecting people with biodiversity and indigenous knowledge, mostly because we want the factor, because we want to preserve the information about how biodiversity is important for health. And the chemical part is because we wanted to get people to a little bit understand the scientific aspects as well, for indigenous people as well, to get them on board with the world, because science is developing and it's like a sense of like we need to develop with them. We need to understand more of our indigenous knowledge and also like try to like move forward as well. So like for that purpose, we have added the chemical as well. Like that's a small aspect that we added, because most of our like people who wanted to support us has given us inputs over the time like that. So we added that as well. So next slide, please. And the next thing.
En la anterior presentación, también hay una opción de búsqueda donde tú puedes buscar algo específico y puedes encontrar información. Por ejemplo, él buscó esa información y apareció que está cerca del lugar donde él estaba. Entonces tú, si quieres conocer más sobre esa planta, puedes escribir un mensaje directamente y la persona que maneja ese perfil te puede permitir acceder o no acceder. Y es importante también encontrar conocimiento de las comunidades indígenas, pero también el conocimiento científico, que de alguna forma nos permite entender de diferentes perspectivas lo que estamos compartiendo en el perfil.
Are you guys good? Okay. Perfect. Hi, Domenico. Do you have anything to say? You can just speak up. It's good. I'm just listening about the app, so you can come and sit. Please take a seat. Yeah. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank Gokul for the invitation and congratulate with Gokul for this amazing work. I think that we were saying also in another event, we are here in a COP that is very special. It's very special because here indigenous are like the hosts. So indigenous are the one that really can take the lead on the climate action and preserve indigenous knowledge. Systematize indigenous knowledge is probably what this app is doing. We just finished with Gokul an event on One Health. I don't know if you are familiar with the concept of One Health. Today is the Health Day. One Health is this concept that is coming from the definition from WHO and so on. So it's very, we can say, Western-like, you know. But the sense is that health of humans, health of ecosystem, and health of animals are connected. Okay? And it's important that basically we have to recognize that this concept was an indigenous knowledge concept already since long ago. And I want really to reiterate this in this venue. So thank you very much, Gokul, for this invitation. And congratulations again for this work, and congratulations to every one of you. And please bring the indigenous knowledge on the point, on the discussion. Also, let's meet with scientists because the dialogue needs to be there. Okay, thank you very much.
Domenico, please wait. We even need to sit down for a little bit time. So I'm just presenting the app so that everyone this is a launch thing. So I'll just finish the app, then we'll go to the dialogue part so that I can also officially introduce you to everyone as well. So excellent. So finishing out as soon as possible, we have visited country feature as well, where we can once you go to one different new country, it suddenly recognizes your location and takes it down, and it notifies takes the information about which all the species you have seen within this country recently from A to Z. It will be taking the tracking information of the species that you have seen, particularly nearby you, within 80 yards of around you, like a Pokemon Go. So it's we can also gamify the app so that people go across the country and also find more species, and they add their species track records as well. So that gives them points which they can use to do some stuff which NGOs can support, or they can redeem that points as something which can be really interesting. We are working on that for support from other NGOs to do that. Maybe next slide, please, bro. Perfect. We also have a nice section for putting in GIFs, images, and all that stuff which people can use in the map. So it's like an animated thing. I'll just show you the animation in the app later because okay, sorry, I can't show you. When the app comes out, you can let's see that, because all of this GIF, it will be animated in the itself. So it'll be really interesting for the youth and children to really put these icons over there. Back.
También es importante, también puedes ubicar la ubicación, dónde estás tú viviendo en la aplicación. Y la aplicación te permite, cuando viajes a otros países, también identificar otras especies que se encuentran ahí. Y la aplicación te permite ganar puntos si tú encontraste esas en otro país y puedes localizar el perfil de otra planta. Al mismo tiempo, esta sección tiene algunas animaciones que se pueden añadir en el mapa para niños y jóvenes que estén interesados y puedan interactuar con las diferentes animaciones que se encuentran ahí, que podrías ver cuando se lance la aplicación.
One thing that I've learned from ancestors is that the knowledge is really passed on from the elderly to the young about how you can use the plants for which medicine purpose. And do you have any aspect or a tag or something that we can say, oh, I learned this from my grandmother or from the leader of my community, that value this oral knowledge that has been passed through other people. Just a suggestion, really, because I think it's important to value how the knowledge was built also.
Okay, so that's a really important suggestion. So what I have right now is like we could like tag each other, like people both in the app itself. So whenever you put information, you can tag me. I'm putting my information, like I can tag other person as well. So they get notified, like same as Instagram or like other social media kind of thing. And like we can say like, oh, I got this information from this indigenous our leader who is this guy, and I'm sharing that information. So people can tap on these tags and see who is that person, and even follow those indigenous people. And also if it's a doctor coming to India or other countries, it will be a doctor, so they can tag the doctor, so that more like validity and people's trust goes to that doctor, and building the trust for indigenous and traditional medicine.
Acá la pregunta que se realizó es que es importante que ella aprendió con las comunidades indígenas que el conocimiento se pasa de los ancianos hacia los niños, y es importante esa relación, y la pregunta era si se puede encontrar en la aplicación alguna parte donde se pueda decir yo aprendí de mi abuelo o aprendí de esta persona, que sería importante. La respuesta fue, es una observación muy válida. Lo que se puede hacer es que si se crea perfil, tú puedes etiquetar a la otra persona, que quizás puede ser una persona de una comunidad, o quizás puede ser un doctor o un científico que está en el lugar y que creó el perfil, y también le puedes etiquetar que de él es el perfil.
Para mí es muy importante el trabajo que puedo observar, porque generalmente en las comunidades ha llegado el mundo moderno, como son los celulares, que te llevan a buscar otros medios o a perderte con el medio de esta tecnología, pero con un trabajo así en las comunidades, muy organizado, mucha claridad, es genial, muy interesante.
It's really happy because now he can perceive that in the Amazon rainforest, people is using a lot of cell phones and different kind of technologies, and they can be lost in different apps or different activities. But this, if you can connect internet or apps with nature and with different aspects of ecology, it's really interesting because they will go back to the place. So he really appreciates that. It's really important to do that.
Estuvimos hablando de la inteligencia humana, de la inteligencia natural y de la inteligencia artificial y la inteligencia cósmica. Esta es la inteligencia artificial.
So bringing together the artificial intelligence and nature intelligence and cosmological intelligence is really important. He can see that here we can find like the connections, and it's really important to systematize those information and the indigenous knowledge and the scientific knowledge at the same time.
Oh, thank you so much, May. Mucha gusto. I would like to thank you for that suggestion. Like it's really great input. Like we are trying to have an official offline version as well. Offline thing means like the person will be able to go around in the Amazon forest without internet, but still take pictures and upload information about the plants. And once they come to the village, they can upload the information directly to the cloud, so everyone can access the information. So that is also one thing that we are trying to do. And also we are trying to work with the flights and everything, so that whenever you're flying in a flight, we can see what is happening down, like the biodiversity. I came here through the Amazon region from Bogota to Belém, so I have seen the Amazon. It was really like an artwork of water, plants, and everything. So it was like really, I was taking pictures, like pictures. So it's like we could like help these people like connect to when the flight reaches out to that location. Like we can see this thing, like particular things. And also we are trying to promote this for tourism purpose as well, like particular regions when the flowers bloom and everything. So that's something like we are working on, maybe like going forward. And yeah, thank you so much. And I'll get to the next slide so we can finish this soon.
Algo sumamente importante que están desarrollando también la aplicación, porque para la gente que está viviendo en la Amazonía, como a veces no hay internet, va a realizar una aplicación que se pueda, segunda también, que se puede utilizar cuando estás viajando en los aviones. Estuvo viajando desde Bogotá hasta Brasil y pudo ver desde toda la Amazonía y como fotos, y él está imaginándose ver en aplicación las diferentes plantas alrededor. Y la tercera también para temas de turismo. Si tú quieres hacer turismo, puedes tener la aplicación y ver dónde puedes encontrar perfiles de las plantas.
Thank you. So I'll just, do you have anything to say? Okay, perfect. So I'll just go to the next slide, like the ballot thing, like no. Okay, so this is like we have like an invite user thing, like invite a friend, where we get 100 points. We call it punya here, like which is from indigenous communities, where in India we say like when you do something good, you get punya, like virtue or something like that. So I just added that, so that will be a point like that for other community to be redeemed as well. So we can go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay, perfect. So they just wanted to launch it today, but we couldn't do it. Still, like you guys can join our WhatsApp group so that you'll be updated about when the app is out. So it's like something to you guys, mostly anyone. That's one. So you can just join an app when the app is ready. You can just download it. Okay.
So, al final también se diseñó un mecanismo de puntos que se puede compartir y algunos otros perfiles de tus amigos pueden darte ciertos puntos y se puede interactuar también para impulsar el uso de la aplicación y los perfiles. Y finalmente está el código QR del WhatsApp, donde se podrá mantener informado de cuándo y qué día se va a lanzar oficialmente la aplicación. ¿Quieres? Se puede escanear o te puede enviar por el celular después.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you so much for being here. We will now go to our session where we speak about different biodiversity importance and all that stuff. So that is the launch for Govardhan App. Thank you so much for the Ukraine Pavilion for giving us the space to launch the app. And yeah, I'm sad like the App Store didn't allow us to launch it like in time. But you guys can see it. We take this here. Please come forward.
Gracias por atender al lanzamiento y la explicación de la aplicación. Y ahora invita a que por favor puedan sentarse y vamos a empezar una ronda de preguntas y también de diálogo.
So thank you so much for everyone joining us today. So I would like to give the floor to Domenico to share more about how his work in Europe is going on, like what has been like doing something on One Health, and also how is it important for indigenous knowledge over in Europe to be like really important key part in climate and health sectors. Yep.
Thank you very much, Gokul, and thank again for the invitation. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on this table. Encantado de conocer vosotros también. I will be very brief, also because unfortunately I have to leave for another event. I'm Domenico Vito. I'm the CEO of the Climate Social Forum, this virtual space that has been created to talk about climate and social crisis and how they intertwine. But also I work with Gokul, especially to understand how indigenous knowledge enter into the concept of One Health. The thing that I was telling before, One Health is a framework that has been agreed by WHO and other institutions like FAO, World Health Animal Organization, and UNEP to tell that human ecosystem, human health, ecosystem health, and animal health are interconnected. So how indigenous knowledge is telling that, and how indigenous knowledge in Europe. Seems like paradoxically, but in Europe, that should have an indigenous knowledge before all the Western, you can say, mindset or Cartesian mindset has come out. And I will tell you, because I come from a small town in the south of Italy that is very rural, in the mountains and so on. I just tell you this little story. In the countryside, and my uncle, that is a farmer, asked me about climate change, and I told him about, in few words, what was climate change. He responded, look, you know that I cannot see anymore the bees. He connected the climate change with his vision is like observation of the absence of the bees. And of course, my uncle is doing farmer since like he was born, he go to school things like the secondary level, and then he stopped. He's not like a big scientist, but he understood. He understood with his knowledge that something was going on. That's the traditional knowledge. That's the indigenous knowledge. Okay. It's happening also in Europe, but the fact that Europe forgot. Okay, Europe, in a we can say superb attitude, forgot to have indigenous knowledge. But we have to discover and properly this touch with the indigenous knowledge from Latin America, from India, and so on. Europe can find again this type of culture and valorize it, because the problem is that we have to give value to that. These observations, the ancient plants that maybe the elderly can know and so on, are a baggage that we can get lost if we are not passing by the generation. I really appreciate the example before, what you learn from your elderly. Intergenerational dialogue is part of the Paris Agreement. Sometimes we forgot also that. But we have to rediscover, because by intergenerational dialogue, we can pass the knowledge and so on. And what we are trying to do also with Gokul, we are trying to rediscover, we are trying to exchange, because exchange is fertile, and synergize. So that's a little bit the action that I want to say. And I'm very glad to be here in Brazil, to be here in COP30, because I'm a scientist, so I have a rational mindset. But really, I want to know the indigenous. I want to know the culture and the knowledge that they have, because believe me, it's like the two legs. We cannot walk with just one leg. We have to work with the two legs. And these two legs can be the traditional and the, you can say, scientific knowledge. And they have to go together, not to compete. And finally, we're understanding this, but it's been a long journey. And let's foster this dialogue. So my final message, and I close here, and I'm very sorry that I cannot stay more, but I ask Gokul if we can connect together. Let's talk, let's exchange practices, exchange experiences and so on. That way we can grow, even though we just stuck on the climate crisis problem, but we have to grow from the climate crisis. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Domenico, for that wonderful speech on like how Europe is doing on One Health, and like how traditional medicine is being taken care in Europe. So I have been like to some of the countries in Europe. Mostly, I have been to Ukraine once. So I have been seeing like the increase in people going towards herbal medicine. So herb and everything is being like going towards.
About Ukraine, about, for example, traditional herbs. In my little town that I was mentioning, there is a guy that is rediscovering the medical property of the herbs. He's a guide, okay? So he's going to the mountains and so on and so forth. But in the same way, he's teaching to the tourist the importance of, I don't know, we have in that area of Italy, a particular plant that's called stregonia. Stregonia has properties for stopping the bleeding. So rediscovering these also for Europeans is something that is very important. In Ukraine as a you really don't know. We really don't know, because sometimes even in Europe we don't really render the tradition of our culture. How rich is the Ukrainian culture about plants knowledge, indigenous knowledge, and so on. And the first indigenous from Europe were probably in this area. They were from Estonia, the real indigenous European. You can also see on the scientific paper. They're coming from Estonia, Lettonia, Ukraine, all that part. And then the tribes move, go to the south and so on. But the first human settlement were probably there. So ancient many, many times.
So yeah, so thanks for the suggestion, like saying that like the start of the indigenous and traditional medicines, like indigenous people is for Europe region is from the Ukraine side, and Ukraine, Estonia, all that region. So yeah, it was like it's like I have been to and I have seen some of that, most of the culture, like what is happening on ground, and it is really like something been trying to push forward for the people on ground, as with the ministry, with all the ministries across here. Like I've been working with the Kyrgyzstan ministry. With all of these people, have the common thing is like they have the indigenous and traditional medicine within their communities that they want to promote, and that will be like a key factor for all the indigenous people to connect as well to take forward climate action. Thanks so much, Domenico, for sharing that information. And you, I know you have to leave, so sorry. I would like to, if you. So
I would try to translate it, so, like, but I would take just the key message. Bueno, él es Domenico Vito, fundador del Foro Social del Clima. Él es un científico y política cartesiana y está tratando de aprender más del conocimiento ancestral y del conocimiento indígena, y está feliz de estar aquí en Brasil. Hay dos historias que él contó que son importantes. La una mencionó que uno de sus familiares vive en una ciudad pequeña en Italia, y él le preguntó como el cambio climático, cómo percibes el cambio climático, y la respuesta fue que él se da cuenta que está cambiando el clima porque está desapareciendo las abejas. Él no ve más abejas en la región. No tiene una formación científica, pero él puede percibir de otra forma que las abejas desaparecieron y que está pasando algo con el clima. Entonces es importante poder unir el conocimiento científico, pero también el conocimiento ancestral y de las comunidades indígenas, de la gente que está viviendo en la región, sobre todo en los pueblos pequeños. Y otra historia que mencionó es sobre un guía turístico en una ciudad pequeña, que él está aprendiendo cómo las hierbas locales ayudan para la medicina, y está dando tours a los turistas que llegan. Él está enseñando y diciéndoles cómo se puede utilizar ciertas hierbas para la medicina. Y eso es algo que está pasando, que Europa tenía, pero se ha perdido y que ahora se está recuperando. Y al mismo tiempo se tiene que promover eso en los diferentes países de la Unión Europea. También mencionó que Ucrania tiene mucha riqueza de ese conocimiento, y otros países cercanos a Ucrania como Letonia, Lituania, que se encuentran cerca, y hay que rescatar esos valores y juntar, que ahora los científicos están interesados en cómo funciona el conocimiento ancestral y cómo poder unir. Y como respuesta él mencionó que es importante eso, que se reunió con algunos ministros de otros países, y que ellos también están interesados en promover el conocimiento indígena y medicinal y ancestral de sus propios países.
To add more that because of the war is happening, I went to Ukraine like last year. Have been like working on a documentary for making the war, and we had done a documentary with my youth on ground, and also how it was affecting biodiversity. It's like really crazy that the war is happening and the biodiversity is being affected, but most of the time people are not talking about that. Even in like the as you all know, I forgot the name of the nuclear power plant that's already over there, which is being invaded, and also the Chernobyl. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to go over there, but I couldn't go because there was a invasion happened, and the area was unstable. So that is being affecting the biodiversity over there. Now, recently there was a report about the dogs over there has been changing color of skin because of the exposure to radiation. So it's like the biodiversity is changing over there, which is one of the sources of the traditional indigenous knowledge space. But people are not speaking about these things. And in our other countries, like where indigenous people should be speaking about protecting these things.
Él tuvo la oportunidad de visitar Ucrania, y como sabemos está la invasión en Ucrania, y hay una guerra que está pasando en Ucrania, y pudo observar que no solo la gente y la infraestructura es afectada, pero también la biodiversidad, que se está destruyendo mucha biodiversidad, y que que las personas no están hablando, y es momento de proteger y también hablar de ese aspecto que se ha olvidado.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the translation. So I'll go to the next speaker here, Mr. I'll just go to Kuri next. So I would like to ask him more about his practice and how indigenous communities are working on climate change. How is the effects of climate change that's happening? That as you are practicing climate traditional medicine in Ecuador and also UK, and you've been training children, and how are they working and for climate action as well. So you have been bringing some children to COP30, I think so. So how is that happening as well?
La pregunta, me pregunta que, bueno, gracias por estar acá y es interesado que como tú vives en la región amazónica, cómo se está viviendo el tema del cambio climático, cómo se está tomando acción, qué se está haciendo, cómo se está percibiendo. Entonces, hay algunas iniciativas que se están realizando ahora. También estoy interesado en conocer el tema del trabajo con los niños y si pudiste o si pudieron venir los niños acá, si puedes compartir un poco de tu experiencia y trabajo relacionado al cambio climático y la Amazonía.
En realidad estoy muy contento de ser invitado por Gokul. Es un líder joven y estoy contento de estar acá y poder compartir algo desde mi Amazonía del Ecuador.
I'm happy to be here, and it's really important that young people like him is like pushing this kind of initiatives. I really appreciate that.
Cuando nos referimos al cambio climático, está de moda.
When we talk about climate change, it seems that it's like a key word now.
Nosotros los pueblos originarios hemos pasado o hemos cruzado muchas amenazas, como las compañías petroleras, las compañías madereras, las compañías mineras y muchas otras.
So it seems that the big problem is climate change, but when you are living in the Amazon forest, we have other huge problems like mining, exploitation of nature through mining, or oil exploitation, or logging, and that's a huge topic for us.
Eso era solamente era una amenaza para los pueblos originarios. Ahora es la amenaza, pero es para toda la humanidad.
Those extractive activities were a risk only for the indigenous communities, but now that's a risk for all the humanity.
A pesar de que hayamos tenido tantas amenazas, desde mi punto de vista no hay ningún odio, no hay ningún algo que me ha contaminado. Siempre lo hago con una transparencia y con un amor a la humanidad, a toda la humanidad y al planeta.
Even though we have suffered a lot in the Amazon forest because of those extractive activities, we don't have any hate against them or against the West, that they are working together in some way and investing the big extraction projects in the Amazon forest.
Como humanidad ahora nosotros hemos contaminado al planeta. Nuestro planeta está enferma.
As humanity, we are not treating good our planet. Our planet is sick.
Los ríos contaminados, los océanos contaminados, el bosque contaminado y seres humanos amenazados por muchas enfermedades.
The rivers, the forests, the different animals are suffering as well as us because of those problems.
Pienso hoy en día es muy importante de que todos como equipo nos unamos para proteger la humanidad y para proteger nuestro planeta, la Tierra, la Madre Tierra.
It's really important that we can come together to bring our knowledge from the Western society, also from our societies, and try to push solutions to face the crisis that we are facing now.
Necesitamos respetar, amar a la Madre Tierra, a la Madre Agua, al Padre Aire, al Padre Sol, porque son parte de nosotros, no son una mercancía.
We need to respect the motherland and all the Pachamama or Madre Tierra in our communities and in our world.
Regresando vuelta al cambio climático. Nosotros los pueblos originarios en medio del mundo que está en un caos, que está moviéndose descentralizadamente, que está como con un virus muy grande, los pueblos originarios estamos muy firmes y muy claros y transparentes.
Going back to the topic of climate change, we have been discussing about that topic as well, and we know that that's a problem, but we are now trying to understand more about that situation, trying to be transparent with with others and discussing that topic openly.
Pienso con respecto a la pregunta de Gokul, para mí es cómo nos preparamos nosotros, por qué la humanidad ya no está, le vemos como que la humanidad está ciega, vemos que la humanidad ya no puede escuchar y los pueblos originarios estamos manteniendo la visión clara cuando queremos decir cuál será la medicina para el planeta, que es nuestro Pachamama, y cuál será la medicina para la humanidad.
It seems that scientists, they don't have a vision, or they cannot see what's the next step. But from us, we have a clear path how we can continue with our livings and protecting our Pachamama.
Para el mundo de afuera es posible, no lo pueden entender, pero para nosotros los pueblos originarios el cambio climático, el problema climático es muy serio y estamos viendo los cambios que han pasado y estamos tratando no solamente ver los cambios, sino cuál sería la medicina, cómo podemos conseguir esa medicina, cómo podemos dar esa medicina.
It's a huge problem, we know, and also we are now discussing because it's a serious problem, and we are trying to solve and give and provide some solutions through our medicinal plants as well.
Por eso es muy importante el trabajo que está haciendo Gokul como joven, porque es como tenemos que enfrentarnos, tenemos que verla, como decía temprano, cómo tiene que relacionarse esta inteligencia humana con la inteligencia natural, con la inteligencia artificial y con la inteligencia cósmica. Necesitamos, es muy importante que tenemos que ver con claridad esos conocimientos, esa relación.
We have to put together the artificial intelligence, natural intelligence, and cosmological intelligence, and in that group trying to get the different solutions.
Y también quisiera dar un mensaje muy grande para los jóvenes, porque yo trabajo con jóvenes y con niños, y cómo nosotros los ancianos tenemos que enseñar, tenemos que compartir el conocimiento a los niños y a los jóvenes.
I'm working with children and young people, and here the key messages, we have to talk with them, we have to dialogue with them, we have to open spaces to hear them as well. That's crucial and really important. That's the most important thing now. Talk to them, hear them.
Mi mensaje sería que los jóvenes y los niños y también los adultos abran sus corazones, porque solamente así podemos nosotros ver los códigos sagrados para poder ayudar a la humanidad y al planeta.
We have to open our hearts just because that's the only way how we can dialogue with transparency and honestly and try to find solutions together. That's key.
La humanidad está cada vez lejos de los códigos sagrados, por eso está en un caos nuestro planeta.
The humanity is far away of the sacred codes, and that's one of the reasons why we are seeing those chaotic moments in our planet.
Pero dentro de los pueblos originarios tenemos la llave para abrir los códigos sagrados y poder ayudar a la humanidad y a nuestro planeta Pachamama.
But within our communities, we can open the sacred codes to share with everyone and trying to solve and face what we are going through now.
Gracias por tu invitación, Gokul, de corazón.
Thank you for inviting me with my heart. I really appreciate it.
Much Corey for being here. So thank you. I really appreciate what you've been working on, on indigenous and traditional knowledge, and also keeping the science alive for people, and also sharing it with youth on to your country, and also spreading it in other countries like UK and everything. So I really appreciate that. Now I would like to give this floor to Julian. Julian, I know you have been working on a lot of restoration purposes, all that stuff, and plan. Sorry, I forgot that.
Can talk.
Yeah, okay.
I would like to thank you so much for the invitation. Also, it's very nice to know your project so well and better now. And I hope we can, with this group of people that you invited to be here, help you until the end of the talk, find ways to promote this and grow this project all over the world, because it's very necessary for all the humanity. So I've been working with children as well a long time, since 2006, And I was talking just a little before our session started. I read about research on how people were losing the references on words in books and publications, news, 60% loss on nature references on vocabulary in the world. So it's a very huge decline on how we mention. And this is just one aspect of how we are relating to nature. We also can understand that most of humanity is living in urban areas. And when we live in urban areas connected too long on cell phones, computers, enclosed spaces, just squares on concrete, not having relations with natural world, we are losing our ability to feel that we are nature. We are part of this Mother Earth, and that we can learn every place and every natural element we encounter, being enchanted, like having wonder about nature, experiences with nature, elements, shapes, colors, senses, stimulating our senses, remembering that we are in the present moment, and sharing relations with people from the territories. We can learn more about every aspect of that territory. So this is a very important application for our humanity. And what I've been doing in São Paulo, which is the biggest cities of the world, is walking around the city with groups of children, families, and bringing them to understand or to look and sense with all their senses trees that are around their houses, on the street of the schools, of the cultural community centers, and bringing the knowledge that they already have about that species, that can be not just for medicinal use, but also references of memory, history that they have. All these plants come from the region that I come from, not from here, talking about the relations. Oh, I know who planted this tree, was my family member, or I remember the event that happened, or I can understand that this tree or plant is not so well because maybe the infrastructure in the city is not giving enough condition for that plant to thrive and be the full potential. As the same, it's kind of a parallel world when we notice this on nature, that the world is sick. But if we look to one element as a tree, how we can notice also that we are sick also. We are not thriving in our full potential. We are not reaching all our developing and enhancing our knowledge through our senses and experiences. We are all focused on the mind and the vision, and sometimes we even forgot to touch the plant. So we are gonna map on the pictures, but have we touched? So maybe you should put there, oh, did you touch? Did you smell? Did you experience it in real? How was it? And bring some references on history and other, like, plus information. The medicinal information is very important. Of course, this is the main focus, but also the history. Do you know who planted this? Do you know which other uses you can have? So it's ethnobotanical indigenous to non-indigenous people. And they have books that anthropologists, with the help writing together with indigenous communities, they bring all the use, like for building a house, for making clothes, for making pens. So how you can use each element to bring this life into reality on the everyday basis. So, and I think this is very important, like how we can enhance all the potential connections, not just the medicinal on the app. So I know it's too much. We can start little by little, but that's one vision that I really have and I wanted to share with you.
add on that because yeah, going forward we'll be having like a voice input as well, so that people can input that when they click on the icon will start beeping with the voice of the species. Like if it's a plant we do not have, but for the animal we'll be having. And also for touch, another thing I'm not sure, but I'll just figure out something. So I would like to add one more point that you told, like when it was like old times, we would have like stories which was closely related to the biodiversity around us. Each story will be like in India. I was remembering that because whenever we say a story, there will be like an animal or a plant or something, like a moon. Everything will be like in our poems, or when we write letters to someone, we'll be mentioning about the other stuff around us. But now the movies that we watch is like mostly related to the emotions of the people, like mostly it has like mostly towards the people only aspect, and we have left the animals and plants and the universe and all that stuff. We have being going down as a storyteller. From I'm also a storyteller, so I have been seeing this kind of a trend in the movie making market as well, so which is like going back on this frame. So do you have to like add something or like translate it like a little bit?
No, que es- Aló, aló. Remarcó los puntos que se dijeron anteriormente, que es importante y que es un poco complicado llevar más allá porque tenemos el conocimiento para utilizar para alternativas medicinales, pero es importante también abordar los otros temas que se mencionó antes, como las historias que hay detrás de cada planta, quién la plantó y que se está trabajando. También hace eh, 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 es no enfocarse solo en el tema de mente, sino también con otros sentidos.
Do you want to add something? Want to add something?
Yeah. Hola.
M- Hola. 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 En realidad, cuando Gokul dice sobre las historias, en realidad me gusta porque me gustaría contar mi propia historia. Cuando estaba muy niño, tenía que preparar la medicina para mi padre. Mi padre ha sido un chamán y a los 9 años me dijo que yo tenía que preparar la medicina de la ayahuasca para él.
Thank you for bringing that topic. It's really important. I wanted to share one experience that I had when I was a child. My father was sick, so I had to prepare the medicine, the ayahuasca.
También a los 9 años fue invitado para tomar la medicina de la ayahuasca con mi padre y con los otros ancianos. Siempre me estaba diciendo que yo preparara la medicina y para mí sentía que era mientras mis otros hermanos de padre estaban jugando y yo siempre estaba haciendo la medicina. Un día le dije, sabes, papá, estoy cansado de preparar la medicina, ¿por qué no encargas a otros niños y yo estar libre?
When he was a kid, he was a child, the elder people always asked him, you should please, can you prepare the medicine? Can you prepare the ayahuasca? And he was like happy at the beginning, but then he wanted to play as well. Other children were playing, and he said to his father, why should I, like, can you ask others? Because I want to play as well.
Entonces mi padre me dijo, sabes, tu medicina es mágica, no pueden los otros niños cocinar como tú lo cocinas, como tú lo preparas. Entonces me quedé en el medio de que, ok, ahora tengo que hacer las medicinas, no solamente la medicina de la ayahuasca, sino muchas otras medicinas para curar a pacientes, hasta que eso se volvió para mí una pasión.
So my father and other shamans, they told me like, yeah, your medicine is only coming from you. It's specific, it's magical, so you can do it. And now he was like surprised by that and encouraged by his father. So now he has a passion to prepare different medicines, not only ayahuasca, but different medicines to support other people who need it.
Cuando se volvió una pasión para mí, habían las plantas medicinales que llegaban en mis sueños, en mis visiones. Las plantas medicinales me decían cómo tenía que preparar la medicina. Estaba en mis sueños, en mi mente, esa comunicación con las plantas medicinales. Y siempre, a veces, cuando tenía sueño, al otro día corría a ver el lugar donde estaba hablando con la planta y decía, necesito que me hables, háblame como en mis sueños. Quería entender eso, quería que me dijera la planta.
I had a passion for preparing the medicines, and I was learning a lot, and I was learning from my dreams. I was learning from my vision. So sometimes I went out and running through the Amazon forest and trying to talk with plants and saying, please talk to me as you talk to me in my dreams. And I'm learning being there, dreaming, but also to with the dialogue with plants.
Hasta que un día llegó que yo podía hablar con las plantas, que tenía una comunicación telepática con las plantas. Por eso le hablaba de los códigos sagrados.
Very much for inviting me for this panel. I would say on this question, I think we have made many. We have learned a lot of things. The thing is just that all the things that we have learned and know how to do, they are not getting to the scale that really responds to the need of.
Can you hear me now?
So,
Can you hear me
hello?
now?
Say
We
that
are
we can
here.
exploit
Hello, hello.
what
Can you
we
hear me?
know.
Hello,
Hello,
hello. Can you hear me? We are here.
We
We are
can-
here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello.
It's our line for the panel.
Yes,
Now it's
okay.
better, I think.
It's what?
Okay, it's good.
Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay.
I can hear me, but
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, perfect, perfect.
so sorry.
Después de que yo tenía estos sueños y todo eso, tuve una directa conexión, conversación con las plantas, era una comunicación telepática. Eso era donde había descubierto, donde había llegado y decía, por eso les hablaba de los códigos sagrados.
30th of
Then
April,
there was a
the world had
moment
already spent
when
the
I have a
resources.
really special and strong connection with plants. It was like a kind of telepathic connection with plants. My practice brought that connection, so I can smell, I can feel with my different sense that I know now I have a special connection with plants, a different plants. That's a really nice feeling.
Por eso estoy muy contento de venir acá y hablar con él.
That's why I'm really, really, really happy to be here and to talk to you, both of you.
Thank you so much, Kuri. And now I'll give the floor to Julian.
Yes, I just want to share also my experiences with plants talking because I think this, I don't know, Gokul has to also talk about his experience of plant talking because I think this is a call. they made us connect. And but when I was a child, very, very young, like I couldn't even walk super good still. I remember being sitting on the floor, like soil, red soil in a country area of São Paulo, the state of Brazil. And I was there sitting among three fruit trees, avocado, mulberry, and jabuticaba, which is native for the rainforest of Brazil. And there in that place, around 3 years old, I think, maybe a little bit less, I would stay there and I wouldn't feel any need of anything. I would be totally protected with about these trees, like they were protecting me. I wouldn't feel need to walk away, to drink water, to eat, to call anybody. I was totally there with the trees like protectors. Super, this feeling I carry inside myself until today as the original source of connection and resilience that I have in my life for any challenge I face. When I remember this, I feel inside the presence of these trees. And kind of the teenager adolescence, I lost a lot of this, but during my childhood, my grandparents, they would tell me, "Oh, listen to this bird, the name is something." It's not the scientific name, but it's a carrying like an active name. And then the plants of the trees. Let's protect some fruit and some leaf for the birds. See the flowering stage. Let's collect the fruits on some other seasons. So I would have these experiences with my grandparents. And then when I was a little young youth, not more teenager, I lost it on from 14 to 20 something. I lost it, and I started working with super. With you want to translate?
Okay.
Without my
He's understanding, I think.
without my without my
He's understanding.
okay. Okay.
Okay. So and when I started working on companies, my first jobs, I was super lost, feeling depressed because I couldn't find inside myself the purpose of life, on how my work could be connected with something that would move me to do something good for the planet and for the people. And I remember I was crying so many days in a row, asking for a vision or something that could connect me to something that was important. And I would walk during lunchtime on a urban forest. And one day, one branch of a tree touched my head. And I say that the feeling, I still have the feeling on my head. And I say that that moment the tree planted a seed on my vision, like my mind and my thoughts. And I started seeing everybody disconnected from the plants. They knew nothing. They weren't doing any reverence for natural world. They weren't respecting the natural resources that we use to have our life the way we have. And I started building the NGO that we are a lot of people together are supporting and doing the work now. And you are invited to be the international branches of Living Trees now. And so so that was it, and I started connecting the history and the knowledge from that. So I found that inside myself, the source of myself. And well, plants talk to me. When I go next to a tree and I don't know the name on my mind, sometimes comes some information. Oh, it's that family, or is that name comes for me. And one day I was walking, a journalist called me. I want to talk about some species. When I looked in front of me, the species were there. So it's these strange things. Strange, no, they are mothers. They are our mothers, and like they are there for us, who are there for them, and the same for the indigenous ancestors' knowledge. You're always for everyone, for the planet, for every one of us. How can we be for you to support our own humanity life? Thank you so much to be here. Thank you so much, Gokul. I'm so happy you made this call.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing, like, deeply heart-touching stories of how you guys are connected to nature. Because these kind of stories often doesn't make it to large spaces like this. And this is like really important for our policymakers to hear, because they will be moved by these things and they will be creating policies better for nature lovers as well. So most of the people I have seen have never spoken like this, like how they connect with nature or like that. And most of the time they will be like, "Oh, that guy is mad" or something like that will be said. But actually, I also do that same thing. We have like I have a lot of connection back in for my mom itself. She like a lot of other Indian moms do. They collect plants from they steal plants from other communities. They take it home, they nurture it, and they have like a special kind of bond with the plants. They just go and just speak to the plants. Why are you not flowering? I brought you from this long, taking you in my hands like this, giving it like that kind of a bond that which, as a mother she shares with us as well. And we also feel the same thing as when our elders do that. We also connect with them, and also we also feel that like the life energy within the plant that is standing before us. And also it is also like religiously connected to for me as well. For each plant has their own value. And yeah, I'm an Ayurvedic student back in India, so I was like really amazed at how important the species were and how they were keeping this kind of biological like value which is being hidden, like which is in front of us but we don't know what's the value. but which is like really crazy. Like even this kind of like a world which social media is working, like all these kinds of technologies are there. People are not even thinking about our plants, which is in front of us. That it's just it is just a corporate thing. Like they wanted to keep us away from the knowledge that is in front of us, and then sell it to us in a package, like a just tablet or something like that. So I wanted to like put that, get the value for the people. And I came to a COP for the first time. I saw there was a lot of indigenous communities at COP in Scotland, UK, COP 26. There are people from Cameroon picking up their plant, sharing about like this plant used for this purpose in their community. And I was like, wow, I don't know. I'm a traditional medicine student in India and I need to learn all of this stuff. Oh my God, there's a lot there out there. And that was like a changing moment to create the app. So, and from that, I snapped out and I wanted to create the app. And well, the app is almost done right now. So for the newcomers, I would like to go the app if later app session. So thank you so much for guys.
I'm gonna translate. Yeah.
I want to
He
make,
understood you.
I want to make a final question. Maybe I don't know if you are in the end, but do you have like a now with you? Do you have a project with some costs or something that we can reach someone to make funding for this? Do you have this business
Budget
plan
okay.
now
So-
ready? Because I would like to take this now in our hands and we go together somewhere and just try to find the financial. Go here, think climate fund, go there.
Climate fund.
And we would talk with them and just try to make it happen, because I think until the 21st, we should really try to find the financial needs you need to make this bigger, like have more people working with you, more young people that are connected that can be from our networks, also international, helping you making this everywhere.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciated words for me, because I've been like trying to figure out funding. I've been reaching out to multiple organizations, Rockefellers, Welcome Trust, all of these big foundations, like for like just like little bit support on the traditional medicine, like just not too much, like just give us the space to like the storage space for the app, and like help us with some developers, so that I'm not only the developer who is like working around that. Sorry?
He's my friend. He's on youth and mental health, and be good is the name of his initiative. And he will help this happen, I'm sure.
Okay, perfect. I will talk to you soon. Okay, so the problem was like people were like really. Okay, I'll just.
We read this down for come for COP, so we exchanged a few messages. And we are connected in this idea, and actually the work that I'm trying to push is actually to foster buen vivir as a way of life and to deconstruct stigma around mental health. And how can we build a care economy based on traditional indigenous knowledges? So thank you so much for all your knowledges sharing. Muchas gracias por toda su compartimiento de sus saberes, de su vivencia, y, bueno, y el concepto de buen vivir y la conexión con Pachamama es justamente lo que necesitamos en una sociedad que está destrozada, y eso es la reconexión con los valores tradicionales, es un camino para tener un desarrollo sostenible. Muchas gracias, me gustaría mucho también compartir y tocar más contigo.
Okay, I'd like to give the floor to you.
Thank you. So I wanted to get here early, but I couldn't. So I want to hear all about the first part later, maybe. I'm gonna present myself. Rawa, a Tunisian doctor. I work on herbal medicine in Tunisia. And I work for a non-profit on the valorization of medicinal heritage in Tunisia. I was thinking about going to grandmas in villages in Tunisia, in every region, and asking them about their recipes, you know, because grandmas have the knowledge that, and we lost that passage of knowledge from generation to generation. So I wanted to give them, to give that knowledge to everyone. I was really emotional hearing you talk about this relationship to nature, and because I'm a medical student and I did herbal medicine in medical faculty, so it's not the same when it's data and this does that. When you go to nature, when you go to a forest and you can smell, you can see, you can hear, you feel like a child again. You are curious about things, you want to see life. So thank you for making me remember that feeling. I'm gonna cry. And I hope to see more things like that in the future. And maybe we can work together in Tunisia, in India, in Brazil. And thank you.
Because we are trying to raise this flag around the connection with the traditional knowledges. So in Latin America we have Buen Vivir. In Africa it's Ubuntu. What is the term in Tunisia? What is the term in India? So and really those concepts they speak the same thing, you know, is that we need to live within and integrated to nature. We need to foster social fabric and meaningful relationships. You talk about intergenerational, so the ancients, they have the traditional knowledges, and we must connect them to the youth in terms of passing this knowledge forward so we can create a different society. Now we have the adolescents and youth isolated into the screens, into the digital environments. So I think that the real challenge here is how can we resignificate this relationship and the languages that we should be fostering.
So much, Luis, for the session, and thank you so much for your heartfelt comments on what's happening.
Bueno, estaba muy feliz por estar compartiendo acá. Él está trabajando entre cómo impulsar el concepto de summa causa, y sabe que en África tienen el concepto de Ubuntu, en Latinoamérica se habla de summa causa, y preguntaba qué pasa en Tunisia, qué pasa en India si tienen un concepto parecido, y es importante poder impulsar esos conocimientos diferentes en los diferentes proyectos que se están trabajando. Are you working with mental health and buen vivir, right? In mental health, but, okay. Y el trabajo que él está tratando de impulsar es la relación del buen vivir, del summa causa, con la salud mental. Y remarcó lo importante del trabajo intergeneracional, de transmitir ese conocimiento con las diferentes generaciones, los ancianos con los jóvenes y los niños, que eso es crucial, e integrar todo este tipo de conocimientos que se tienen ya y que tratan del cuidado de la vida y del cuidado de otras vidas también.
Okay, so Luis, thank you so much for the suggestions, and thank you so much for the question. So we are trying to build a global indigenous and traditional medicine alliance. It's open for everyone, to all the organizations to join. We have Kuri in that as well. Just sharing it here. So we have like people from a different country. We have Kuri, and we have like Transdisciplinary University in India. We have the Secretary General of UNESCO from Hungary. We have WHO Egypt. We have like American Pharmacopoeia Association, and everyone has a team. We are welcome to join us, sir. So we have like a global. Yeah, you can also join. Yeah, no worries. So we are creating a community across all the people who are supporting traditional indigenous medicine, so that we can advocate for this going forward in the future. And also yesterday I had a meeting with the UNFCCC director. She wanted to put the traditional medicine as an agenda point for future COPs. So something that we are pushing forward this time. So mostly something will happen, I think so.
I also want to be joining this. And one aspect that we need to be thinking in order to be part of this agenda is how can we integrate this care economy concept? Because this would be resignificating this financial gap that we get in terms of climate financing and all this stuff, you know. So what we need money for is actually to strengthen these relations in the communities, to getting back to our roots and to resignificating the value of meaningful relationships.
I completely agree with that. So
el tema de medicina ancestral es importante que están abiertos posiblemente a tener las siguientes talks. Y el compañero mencionó que es importante revalorizar el concepto de cuidado, economía de cuidado e integrar con las diferentes áreas que estamos trabajando acá. Pensar en cómo se puede traer las inversiones para poder impulsar la economía del cuidado y financiamiento importante.
Oh, yeah, perfectly coming to an end. Like we are having that, which we are trying to build that, and we are guys all welcome to join. And yeah, going forward, I would like to give the floor back to the speakers who has anything to add more final touches for this.
I would like to say that less than 1 month ago, I was in Rio de Janeiro for the 3rd World International Congress on Traditional Complementary Integrative Medicine that united Ayurveda knowledge, also anthroposophic Chinese medicine, and also from communities all over the world. The practice they are discussing and building evidence maps on. So it's interesting to bring this app to this conference also. I think I'm not sure where it's going to be next year, but I think it's every 2 years. But we should follow them also.
Okay, so perfectly.
Solo menciona que gracias por estar acá y este es el último momento. Si quieres añadir algo más, si quieres compartir algo adicional, lo puedes hacer ahora.
Perfect. So thank you so much. And I would like to end the session by saying that we are trying to our best to work forward to creating the space so that we, as indigenous people and indigenous people and traditional people who are working on medicine, like all together, like indigenous people who has been working on this space, have been like have been coming to COPs and global spaces like this, but is like is not getting that aim to what should we advocate for. That is something that which UN is missing or is unable to guide them to. So we wanted to like help them to get this vision of their things to what are the missions that they should advocate to, how to do that, and how the parties which are aligning to these things should be given more like pushed for more because for me I've been like I just talked to the Ukraine ministry. They were like really interested in supporting. I just talked to Sri Lankan ministry, Egypt ministry, Chad ministry. All the African countries were like really interested to pushing forward this agenda. So I would like to like have a that's why we build this alliance so that I'm not the only person who is going to these spaces. I was at the World Health Assembly, which was in Geneva. And the surprising fact was I was the only person from traditional medicine at that whole space of World Health Assembly. and we were only the one person who was doing the one single event, side event on traditional medicine. And there was like people from International Federation of Medical Association students and all that stuff. But the World Health Assembly was not World Health Assembly, it was like World Western Medicine Assembly. And it was really sad for me because I was all alone over there, like really looking around what to do, nothing. But still, we got support from the University of Geneva to do an event on ground. That was really, really helpful to promoting the. With that, I'm like closing this session and thanking all the participants, like all the speakers, Julian, Mr. Curry, and the speaker translator as well. I don't know his name, sorry, and also Domenico who came, and also the people who showed up. Thanks, Luis, and I don't know your names. Rebecca, Tunisia, Rawa. Rawa for joining in, and keep in touch. We will be sharing the app once it's out. And thanks so much for the Ukrainian ministry for providing us this space, because this is like a really, really important space which people need to like be given. So thanks so much for the Ukrainian ministry. Thank you.
Thank you for the Ukrainian minister.
Let's take a picture together.
Te traduzco la última parte. Dijo que es importante poder impulsar esta iniciativa y que el tema de medicina tradicional, que él estuvo en Ginebra, Suiza, en la conferencia de salud de las Naciones Unidas en Ginebra, Suiza, y que él fue la única persona, gracias, thank you so much, que él fue la única persona en la conferencia de salud de Ginebra, Suiza, hablando de medicina tradicional, y que creo que los gobiernos están abiertos a impulsar esos temas.
The origins followed then by Egyptian leadership in connecting the. We can't have control our climate emissions, sustainable and healthy